And now, your host for this evening, from KTVU Channel 2, Jana Katsuyama, and from ABC 7 News, David Louie.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. My name is Jana Katsuyama, and as you heard, I work at KTVU Fox 2. I've been doing the Cherry Blossom Queen program for quite a while. Started off as a judge, which is no easy task, as I'm sure everybody can imagine. And then I've had the honor of emceeing this amazing event. And this year, I am so thrilled that David Louie from KGO is here. We've emceed before for the Organization of Chinese Americans, and so I thought, wow, this is great. We can do this kind of Pan-Asian thing, and he can come and do the Cherry Blossom Festival with us. And as we were coming in, we just I found out, I didn't know this, that he's been here before as an MC with Ms. Junko Nakagawa, who I hope will stand up. She's only 32 years old, so it was not so distant future that they did this together. But so it's wonderful. So it's a perfect match for this amazing evening.
Thank you, Jana. I'm David Louie from ABC 7 News. Glad to be here. And Junko, for someone who's only 32 years old, how could it have been a few years ago that we actually were on the stage together? It couldn't be more than 5 years ago, right? All right. Well, that's our secret. But it's such a joy to be here this evening. And as I look around the audience, the ladies tonight look fabulous. You should be part of the court tonight yourselves.
There we go. Okay. Well, we did get a look at some of the members who are the candidates tonight, and they're an amazing group of young women. I mean, we were reading the bios, and it's really impressive and heartening.
It really is impressive. And the thing is, they are so excited about this evening, as they should be, and I think that they are absolutely thrilled to be representing the community and to represent who they are. And I think we're going to learn a lot about them this evening, and we're all going to be very proud of all four of them.
Yes, I think no matter who wins, we have won in terms of this group of young women, because they're going to be wonderful representatives. We are thrilled to be back here at the Sundance Kabuki Theater, this historic, wonderful location, and thank you all for coming and showing your support for this evening. It's so meaningful for everyone who takes part in this, and there are so many people backstage we'll be talking about later who make this possible.
And we have so many treats in store for you tonight. We've got culture, we've got speeches, we also have tiaras, of course, but we'd like to start off with something very special. We'd like to start off with a welcome from the Honorable Consul General of Japan, Mr. Masato Watanabe.
excited. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm so much excited and honored to join you tonight for the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen Pageant. The Queen program offers a wonderful opportunity for its participants to foster deeper connections with both their community and their heritage. I would like to thank Mr. Ben Nakajo for his outstanding leadership and tireless dedication to the Cherry Blossom Queen program for many decades, and also Ms. Sarah Pedaye and the rest of the Cherry Blossom Queen committee for all of their hard work in making tonight's festivities and this program a grand success. I would like to congratulate and express our sincere dedication to the Queen of 2014, Ms. Dana Kylie, and the rest of the court. Tonight, we are gathered here to recognize and honor the accomplishments of 4 talented young women. Each comes from her own unique background with her own ambitions and goals. Together, the members of the 2015 Cherry Blossom Court will serve as exemplars of the Northern California Japanese American community as they take part in cultural and community activities both locally and across the United States. In particular, the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen will also have the distinction of serving as a goodwill ambassador for both America and this community when she travels to Japan. Through her work as a grassroots diplomat, she will have the opportunity to create and maintain bonds of friendship between our 2 countries. Now, I think we have splendid judges such as Carol Matsumoto-san from South San Francisco, Amy Yen-san from Oakland, and I'm really much looking forward to participating in this wonderful event. It is my sincere hope that this year's Queen and her court will have a wonderful experience as they create new friendships, connect with the community, and promote intellectual understanding. I wish tonight's contestants the best luck of this evening and in the upcoming year. Thank you very much, and thank you very much for having me.
Consul General Watanabe.
Thank you so much.
And now we'd like to invite the chair of the Queen program, who you always see every year, who puts so much hard work into this program, Mr. Ben Nakajo.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As chair of the Festival's Queen program, I have been given the pleasant duty and special responsibility to welcome you all to the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival's Queen program. And I do so with a deep, warm heart and with wide open arms. A warm Cherry Blossom Festival welcome to each and to every one of you. I have stood here and repeated these words of welcome for many years, and I have done so sincerely because this Festival's Queen program is a very special one, and I feel it is my duty to speak of it. It is my responsibility to speak to you about the 2015 candidates. These 4 outstanding young women, of the tremendous efforts, time given, and how they have worked so hard these last weeks to come to this place tonight. I feel the responsibility to speak words of encouragement to them, so I do. Speak words of support, so I do. And speak to them of how they are so special to all of us. I also do. So join with me and wish them all the best, not only tonight at this program, but for the coming court year and their futures. For me, it is these young women, and many like them, who hold the future continuance of the community in their hearts and in their hands. The Festival's Queen program has its goals, its directions, its philosophies, and its dreams to continue to make a place for young Japanese American women by which they can find themselves, to learn what it is to be a Nikkei American woman, to learn out and gain experience in the Japanese American community, whom they will represent, and to instill in them a deep desire and a strong want to serve the community as their own, and to do so as good, strong, visionary, sensitive leaders of the future. I also feel as a community person that it is my responsibility to talk of other matters. Many changes occur in our community, and the effects directly impact it. The change that occurred this year in February of 2015, Mr. Seiichi Ato, President and Senior Advisor of the Fujiyasuki Kimono Company, Tokyo, Japan, passed away. His more than generous contributions and giving spirit, which will become clear to you later on in this program, has given this festival, this Queen program, and the Japanese American community a gift. And in his passing has left an unbelievable legacy, something left behind that should never be forgotten. This duty goes to the future leaders. Another change, the Optimist Club of San Francisco, an organization which was a pillar of the community for many decades, has now disbanded due to dwindling numbers and is gone. The contribution to the Optimist Club of San Francisco to the Queen program, being a Canadian sponsor since I came to the committee over 30 years ago, to this Cherry Blossom Festival and to this Japanese American community, that contribution cannot be measured, and that legacy should never be allowed to be forgotten. This is a duty entrusted to the future leaders. The changes like this, too, within the community come quickly, and the concern is soon the community, will also pass. But with the energy, strength, vision, and the vitality of these young women, the hope remains strong. My belief in my community work would not allow me to think otherwise, and it is the likes of the 2015 court to lead the way so the change that comes will be positive and strong in the new community of the future. A time for thanks. My deepest appreciation to the 2014 court, who have this past reigning year made many contributions and who have learned and will continue to learn to participate in community life. I pray that this year, with the Queen program and all the services you have given, you have learned much and will carry out all those positives with you. And when the time comes, you will return here in some part of the community to continue your service. I want to express with the utmost sincerity, kansha, gratitude to all the corporate and candidate sponsors of this festival's Queen program and the Cherry Blossom Festival. Your companies, your organizations have made the commitment, the decision to be involved, to support, to sponsor, and to give your invaluable assistance. Please know that without you, this Queen program, this Cherry Blossom Festival would not continue nor exist. My deepest arigatou gozaimashita. Queen Program Committee, my humble thanks for allowing me to be a part of your efforts, your long hours of toil, not days, but weeks, months, for this Queen program continues throughout the year. Gratitude from the bottom of my heart. And you, ladies and gentlemen, this is your night. For tonight, your daughter, your sister, niece, cousin, family, friend, has become a part of the 2015 festival celebration, and I join all others to congratulate you. To my wonder, amazement, and delight, we have Jana Katsuyama. When I speak to anyone about Jana, they say Jana is so community and she is so admired. And David Louis, an institution. I grew up with you, David, which is hard to explain as I am 20 years older than you are. Both Jana and David, so professional, so polished, so completely competent in your field. To be here with us, your presence adds so much, and to take us through this evening's process, for me is a dream come true. And now, ladies and gentlemen, back to our master and mistress of ceremonies. Enjoy this.
Thank you so much, Ben. In 1968, Terry Iwasaki was crowned Cherry Blossom Queen, setting the stage for a tradition that grows stronger with each passing year. This is the beginning of a journey for these 4 young women who are just backstage now, waiting to come out and introduce themselves to you. The community has gathered here to celebrate both this shared history, to celebrate them, and also this ever-evolving story that Ben just laid out so beautifully to you about crowning the next generation. And we are going to be doing that tonight with the 2015 Cherry Blossom Court.
And now, the moment I know you've been waiting for, the opportunity to give a loud Northern California welcome to our 2015 Queen candidates. Let's hear it for our court.
Standing before you, candidate number 1, Taylor Keiko Leibua Davis. Sponsored by the Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco, the kimono is a lustrous satin red ginzu with a black gradient. The design is hand-painted using yuzen dye, featuring phoenixes, roses, and cherry blossoms in gold leaf, creating a gorgeous impression. The obi is a black Kyoto Nishijin woven piece adorned with luxurious gold thread. It has a brilliance that is not outdone by the sheen of the kimono. The accessories feature similar colors, creating a refined ensemble. The obi is tied in the otome bunko style.
Candidate Nina Marie Meyer, sponsored by Takara Sake USA Incorporated. The kimono is a color with rich history in Japan, a bluish purple Edo Monosaki gradient. The design is hand-painted using yuzen dye, featuring weeping cherry trees draped across with classic patterns depicting water. The obi is a Kyoto Nishijin woven piece with gold and silver thread. The Ishimatsu two-tone checkered pattern is scattered with chrysanthemums and cherry blossoms. The accessories are a glittering pink that add a charming contemporary impression to the ensemble. The obi is tied in the Tushiro Tateya style.
And candidate Kelly Asako Sum, sponsored by Benny Wonder. The kimono is a vivid sky blue that brightens your eyes, set against a vermilion red gradient. The design is hand-painted using yuzen dye, featuring flowers from all seasons and a pattern depicting water. It also features traditional embroidered temari balls amongst the other auspicious patterns. And the obi is a Kyoto Nishijin woven piece with pale, dainty flowers woven into a white background. The accessories are a vivid blue that bring out the gorgeousness of the kimono, balancing all the colors of the ensemble. And the obi is tied in the Fukura Suzume style. candidate Corinne Brenda Worley. Sponsored by the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California. This kimono is a deep green with a deep red lining that peers out from inside. The design is hand-painted using yuzen dye, featuring gorgeous flowers and plants from all seasons and traditional embroidered tamari balls. The obi is a cream-colored Kyoto Nishijin woven piece with pretty flowers woven into the background. The accessories are deep green with bright yellow highlights that bring out the deepness of the colors, bringing charming contemporary impression to the ensemble. The obi is tied in the bonbori musubi style.
Really lovely, and some toys on the stage. You know, the Queen program is open to young women at Japanese American descent, ages 18 to 26. And for tonight's candidates, it's a very unique experience, which trains them to become future leaders in the community, team members, and to forge deeper bonds with the community through their public service and appearances. And we encourage anyone who's interested in becoming a candidate in the future to please check the website that's listed in tonight's program.
Yes, there might be a future queen sitting here among
Yes,
us right
indeed.
now. This evening, the candidates will be judged in 4 different categories. There was a personal interview with the judges that happened before the program. There's an essay which was previously submitted. The speeches, which will be coming up next, so you'll get to hear from each one of them. And then David and I have the joy of being able to do what we like to do, which is basically ask questions with an onstage interview segment. That's always one of the things that I love the best about it, because you get to hear from the candidates, just kind of answer questions. It's not anything that they've prepared or that they've seen before. So it's really a moment where you get to see them at their spontaneous best. And then the results of tonight's program are all culminated in these 4 weighted categories.
And of course, while they don't know what questions they're going to ask, we have given a lot of thought to the kind of questions we're going to ask, so we'll see exactly how well they hold up under pressure. Well, you know, the scoring breakdown is as follows. The personal interview makes up 30%. The essay is weighted at 20%. The speeches, which are up next, are at 20%. And then lastly, an on-stage interview at 30%.
And we'd like to introduce the judges who have the very difficult task of trying to make decisions about who will be our next 2015 Cherry Blossom Queen. They're going to be judged by 7 individuals, distinguished individuals from the community who are sitting here in the front row, and we'd like for each of you to stand up and just wave your hand so people know who you are and we can acknowledge you. The judges, please, when you hear your name called, just stand up, and if you could turn around, we'd love to recognize and honor you for your contribution tonight.
And our first judge is Mrs. Kathy Inamatsu, Executive Director of Nihonmachi Little Friends.
We also have a colleague of mine, Ms. Lisa Yokota, who's both with KTVU and our sister station KICU, our Community and Public Affairs Director.
We also have tonight Ms. Amy Sueko Ng, the 2004 Cherry Blossom Queen, recently elected as the local school board member from representing District Number 2.
And also joining us tonight, Mr. Mark Fry, who is the current president of the Japan Exchange and Teaching Program Alumni Association.
Also tonight we have Ms. Jane Mura, formerly the Vice President of Asset and Risk Management for PG&E.
And Ms. Carol Matsumoto, former 4-time mayor, and let me say that again, 4-time mayor of South San Francisco.
And Mr. David Ishida, Regional Administrator of the United States Department of Health and Human Services and a current board member of the Japantown Task Force.
And let's give a big round of applause to all of them. They are volunteering their time to be here, and we do thank you so much for joining us. All right.
Let's get to know the candidates better. We begin with a speech individually prepared by each young lady. The judges will be looking at the candidate's presentation, sincerity, conviction, articulation, and focus.
All right, so the very first candidate that we're going to bring to you tonight is Ms. Corinne Brenda Worley.
evening, everyone. Firstly, I would like to take a moment to thank my sponsor, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, the volunteers, and members of the Cherry Blossom Queen Committee for this opportunity. Because of all of you, I am on the stage today. My name is Karine Brenda Worley, and to me, being Japanese American means recognizing culture and cultural differences. There are many times where I was much younger, where I was embarrassed of my culture. I wasn't afraid of being lost in a huge new place. Instead, I was afraid of my natto bento. As I'm sure many of you know, natto is Japanese beans that are very sticky and have a strong smell. The look and smell can seem very strange to people who aren't used to it. The first day I was given natto bento for lunch to school, I didn't want to put it on the table for people to see. All around me, I saw common lunches, such as fruits and sandwiches. I was embarrassed of what they would think of my natto bento, especially because my mother had made it colorful. Eventually, I gave in hunger and placed my lunch on the table as I felt eyes staring back at me. My friends, however, got curious, tried some, and liked what they tasted. Over time, they really loved what my mother had packed. This experience taught me to celebrate my culture instead of hiding it, and also opened a door into a world of Japanese culture to my friends just by a simple act of sharing. I realized that I should not doubt what I truly love, and I should not be afraid of who I am. I realized that when meeting people from other cultures, I need to take the time to understand and accept what they bring. Since learning depends on the understanding of other cultures, I realized how crucial it is for us to educate one another about them. In my life, I would like to continue to introduce people to my culture. Embracing my background as a Japanese American means being proud, being myself, and learning from others. Once again, I would like to thank my sponsor, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, the volunteers, and members of the Cherry Blossom Queen Committee for this opportunity.
Candidate number 2 is Taylor Keiko Lehuya Davis.
Good evening. I would first like to thank my sponsor, the Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco, because without you, tonight would not be possible. Think back. Was there ever a time when you were bullied? You are not alone. Bullying can lead to depression, anxiety, and low self-esteem. Reading and listening to stories about individuals who have been bullied is very saddening and angers me to think individuals can be so cruel. My name is Taylor Keiko Lehuya Davis, and I was bullied as a child. Current stories about bullying take me back to my younger school days. I was one of the larger students, a pit bull versus a chihuahua, to visualize the size variation. Other children made jokes towards me. Their words hurt, and I became self-conscious. One day, in the 5th grade during PE, I realized my athleticism when I helped my team win a dodgeball game. I did a dance of weaving and ducking and throwing those red rubber balls as if I were in a baseball World Series. It gave me the confidence not to be bothered by the malicious words of my classmates. Growing up, I saw the differences between myself and my family and friends. I attempted to follow the crowd by wearing clothes in style, but I felt awkward and uncomfortable. Whether it was my clothing, voicing my opinions, or being a rascal and hiding my sister's toys, I had my own way of doing things. even if I got into trouble. When I was younger, it felt difficult being different, but today, I embrace my differences. Many people see the black or white side of the issue, but somehow, I find the yellow polka dot side of the issue that no one even knew existed. Becoming a member of this Cherry Blossom Corps, I have the opportunity to share my experiences and hopefully encourage others to embrace their differences. Like a favorite author of mine wrote, "Why fit in when you're born to stand out?" Dr. Seuss. Being perfect is overrated, so never apologize for any imperfections. Everyone has something special about them. So have the courage to share what makes you special, because we are never too old to learn something new. And once again, I would like to express my gratitude to my sponsor, the Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Taylor. And now, please welcome candidate number 3, Nina Marie Myers.
Good evening, everyone. Thank you for being here tonight. My name is Nina Myers. First of all, I would like to thank my sponsor, Takanasake USA Incorporated. Without your support, none of this would be possible. Over the years, I've become increasingly aware of the concept of identity and the fact that I am a hafu, an individual that is half Japanese and half non-Japanese. As a young child, I thought I had the best of both worlds. I couldn't understand why my sister admitted that she only wanted to be one or the other, Japanese or Caucasian. It wasn't until I became older that I began to understand the difficulties of trying to be a part of two cultures without exactly fitting into either. My Japanese heritage has been a defining feature of my entire life. It is central to who I am. As a result, I became bewildered and discouraged when others easily dismissed the Japanese influence on my life based solely upon my appearance. As I've been told, no one would believe that you're Japanese. As a child of an immigrant parent, attempting to balance multiple cultures can be a difficult task. One of my greatest fears has always been letting down my parents by failing to uphold my heritage. As a result, I've struggled to find the appropriate balance between my Japanese half and my American half. I fought to understand exactly who and what I am. My experiences have led me to contemplate many questions. For example, what does it mean to be Asian, Asian American, or American? Is it based on your blood, your language, your culture, or your values? Where do we draw the lines? I wish I could stand up here today and tell you that I found an answer. I wish I could tell you I now know exactly who I am, and I'm completely confident in myself. But to be honest, I can't. I still haven't found my perfect answer. I'm still trying to reconcile the various cultures and identities in my life. However, I do know what is important to me. My Japanese heritage, my American hometown, my family here and across the globe, the values and traditions with which I was raised, the friends and communities that have supported me, and the cultures I wish to explore and protect. Without these, I would not be the individual that I am today. These are the forces that propel me forward. And in the end, I think that is what's really important. Once again, I would like to thank my sponsor, Takanasake USA Incorporated. Please enjoy the rest of tonight's program. Thank you.
And now, candidate number 4, Kelly Asako Sung.
Woo!
Good evening. My name is Kelly Asako-san. First and foremost, I'd like to thank my sponsor, Benihana, for giving me this wonderful opportunity. I hope everyone enjoys the rest of the program and the festival in the beautiful Bay Area. One of my fondest memories growing up as a child was attending the San Jose Obon in the summertime. To be honest, it was daunting to join the dancing circle. Mostly everyone was dressed in colorful kimonos and seemingly knew the dance moves like the back of their hands. My mother, as proud and encouraging as she was, led us out into the circle, and suddenly we were dancing, or at least attempting to mimic the moves of the dancers as gracefully as possible. Reflecting upon this moment made it evident how much my mother paved the way to understanding our cultural heritage. Growing up as a fourth-generation Japanese American, she made an effort to instill Japanese culture into our lives by cooking delicious Japanese dishes such as miso soup, tonkatsu, and my personal favorite, mochi. I apologize for making some of you hungry. She organized frequent visits to Japan as a family to preserve strong relationships with our extended relatives. She was the cultural pillar of our household, and was never afraid to share the beauty or the intricacies of the Japanese. Therefore, my world came tumbling down when I was 14 years old after my mother's passing from a 3-year battle with cancer. I felt disoriented about who I was and how to regain stability as the majority of these cultural influences gradually came to an end. There was a distinct moment during my second year of college when I made the decision that I had to be proactive about reconnecting with my culture once again. Shortly after, I began to take lessons for the same Japanese harp my mother played when she was young, called the koto. As I became more involved with this fascinating art, its captivation not only led me back to rediscovering my roots with a new lens, but also spiritually connected me with my mom. I'm grateful for the persistence of the Japanese American community to continually practice the traditions. For thousands of years, a circle across all cultures has signified unity. Whenever I return to the Obon dance circle, I feel welcome and as one again, reminding me of the fond memories of my mom as a child. I would not be who I am today without my support system of family, friends, and my koto teacher. Finally, I'd like to thank my sponsor once more, Benihana, for providing me the opportunity to share my story. I truly believe that our culture has the potential to give us guidance regardless of the circumstances that life bestows, because our culture is a part of our character and our legacy. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Kelly.
That's right. If you don't want the music to stop, please send in your donation today. I want to thank all of our supporters out there that have already sent in their donations. I know who you guys are. But for the rest of you, now is the time to show your support of the only 24-hour K-pop TV station in the country. Kpop-TV is the only TV broadcaster that is exclusively K-pop. We bring you coverage of events like the K-pop World Competition and the KCON TV special. We also provide exclusive K-pop TV interviews and K-drama reviews. And don't forget the fun contests and promotions that you cannot find anywhere else. If you enjoy our programming, please help us pay for our operating costs by donating a few dollars. Simply go to our website and click the Keep the Music Playing link, and that's it. You can feel good that you are one of Kpop-TV's proud supporters. Remember what EXID says, and please don't stop the music. Please send in your donation today.
It's not an easy thing, to get up and speak in front of a room of people. Even when we're doing things live, you're looking into a camera. You're not really looking at all these people. And I thought they did really well.
They really did. I mean, the dynamics are so different when you actually see an audience staring back at you.
It's very, very different. But wonderful, and you were so supportive. I hope the judges were able to get something that will help them in this very difficult process of decision making. You can see they're setting up chairs because now we're going to be moving on into a chance for them to express themselves in a sort of unscripted way. They've obviously been practicing those speeches and did so well delivering them.
They really did.
This is a chance for us to get to ask them questions. And the questions are known only to David and myself. We had a little powwow backstage beforehand to confer. They have not been supplied to the candidates in advance, so they have no idea what we're going to ask. In some cases, we might not know exactly what kind of follow-up questions we might ask.
Exactly, just like a real live television news interview. Well, the judges will score each candidate based on her ability to answer in a clear and very direct and concise manner. And it will speak to her poise under pressure, her personal ability, and her candor. Now, this conversational format gives us an insightful look into the communication skills that each candidate has, and it will also see how well they will handle 50-some events that will transpire in the year ahead if they are to become the queen. So let's welcome back our candidates onto the stage, and we will begin with our questions.
Big round of applause. Welcome, ladies. You all look so beautiful and you've done such a great job. I am going to hand you the microphone, and I'm guessing we're going to be going down in this order. I know it's difficult, but please relax. Have fun with this part. It can be hard, but
they are relaxed.
I don't think we have like our really mean interrogation faces on tonight.
This is not like 60 Minutes. We're not going to sit here and really tough.
No gotcha moments?
No gotcha
There
moments.
might be some gotcha moments. We'll see.
Well, maybe. We'll see.
All right. Well, I think we're just going to go in order that they have here for us. So we're going to start off with candidate number 1, Corrine Worley. Give her another round of applause. Just kick her off. And right here. So one thing I wanted to ask you about, I was noticing in the essays, which they didn't really have a chance to read, so I wanted to kind of share with them. You mentioned you were born in Iwate, Japan, raised by a single mom, is that right? And went back after the great Tohoku earthquake to volunteer. I wanted to know, what did you learn from that experience? I mean, that must have been a tremendous experience. What prompted you to first go back? And then secondly, what did you gain from that time that you spent there?
I wanted to visit Iwate Prefecture to connect with the people there.
Ever the gentleman, David.
I wanted to visit Iwate Prefecture to get a better understanding of my roots. My family has grown up in the countryside of Japan, which is a complete different area compared to Silicon Valley of California. When I visited the disaster site, however, I saw schools washed up. I saw debris on the ground stuck in the dirt. I saw hundreds of people using their muscles, even if they're in pain, they're working so hard just to clean up the debris. At that moment, what sparked my mind is that we could use better technology instead of human labor. It would save so much time, and what I could take away from that experience is what I hope for America and Japan, to share the technological differences, their differences, in order for a better and stronger economy.
We're going to switch microphones again, so sorry about that. Now we're back in good order. Okay, my second question now to you is, name a famous person you'd like to meet, and what would you try to learn from that person?
One day I would love to meet Jan Yanahiro. She was a famous NBC journalist, and she hosted shows about Japanese Americans who faced World War II. I love the way she talks. She speaks so eloquently, and she's been a role model for me for so long. I would love to talk with her about what has inspired her to become so strong in a male-dominated field as a minority, and what inspires her to speak up. My main role model is Jan Yanahiro, and I hope one day to meet her.
That might be possible. We can work on that, maybe. We'll give Jan a call after this and just see what we'll get your schedules together.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. The other thing that I wanted to ask you about, you mentioned that last year you helped some Japanese students with their fears over differences between the U.S. and, I think you said, Japan's societal expectations. And I was curious, how you think they differ, the U.S. and the Japan, and expectations that the societies put on people, and what each side should understand about the other.
Could you repeat the question, please?
Absolutely. So a lot of times there might be some kind of expectation that people have about another society, and I think you were maybe alluding to these young people who came from Japan, was it, that you were helping? And they had some images or ideas of what the expectations were. So help explain what you meant by that and how you see those expectations.
When I first met the Japanese international students at San Jose State University, their fears were of fitting in, if they were friendly enough, if they seemed open enough, if their fashion sense was popular here. What I realized is that our cultures can shape us for who we are, but it is important to recognize that the main thing is not about fitting in, it is about expressing what we truly love. With that, I shared to the Japanese international students my love for American culture, places to visit such as San Francisco, Los Angeles, places where I hope they will feel most accepted, such as areas in Japantown. Ever since, I've held long relationships with them, and I can't wait to share with more international students about my love of learning different cultures.
Thank you, Karina. If you would now pass the microphone on to Taylor. And remember, when you hit the bell, all right, Taylor. I'm sorry. Who in your life has had the greatest impact on you as a person, and what was that impact?
I would have to say, and I hope my family doesn't get mad, but my grandfather Ted, who my sisters and I call Pa. He has been my biggest supporter and my biggest motivator since day one. He was my first coach in softball and also in life. He has impacted my life in various ways, whether it be providing wisdom on my educational goals and my future in general. And I would have to say he's my biggest motivator in my life.
And you call him Paul?
Yes.
I wanted to ask you, you said that in your application that your ambition is to become a professional dietitian?
Yes,
Is that right? Okay, so my question is, tell us your favorite healthy Japanese food that we all should be eating. And secondly, why you mentioned that you were interested in counseling people with eating disorders. And tell us why you're so interested in helping that population.
So I would say the healthiest that you could eat is miso soup. Personally, I love it and it's delicious and it's medicinal. Secondly, I chose to go into dietetics and counsel eating disorder individuals because I found a fascination with the reasoning behind their food problem, but I also found an interest in food and the love of food, and if I could help them find that love of food again, I would really enjoy my career.
Taylor, it's very likely, if you've been following the news at all, that there's going to be a very well-known politician tomorrow who's going to announce that person's candidacy to become president. I think we know who we're talking about without mentioning names. What would a woman bring to the White House and to the presidency that beyond what a man can do?
I believe that a woman would bring to the White House a sense of empowerment for other female individuals who feel maybe inferior in a quote-unquote man's world. And I feel that someone taking the White House as a female will open doors for women all over the world and let them know that they can speak up, they can be out there and changing the world no matter gender.
All right, that person's still unsaid, unnamed, but
We're not partisan here, of course.
moving on. It says on here that you've been active in the Stockton JACL.
Yes.
Right? And like many organizations, I think Mr. Nakajo mentioned, this sense of in some ways people drifting away, the sense of transition and loss. And I'm wondering, it sounds like you've been doing some wonderful programming with the Stockton JCL, and I'm curious, if you are named Queen, what kinds of steps do you think you might do or that you would like to see happen to try and keep young people involved and connected with community?
I would have to say possibly starting a cherry blossom festival maybe in Stockton. I know myself, along with a former court member of the 2014 court, we were both from Stockton, and it has actually created interest in other females to join the program that are away from the Bay Area. And I feel that us continuously branching out and being involved in things like the Cherry Blossom Queen program, it will keep the Japanese community alive here and far away.
Thank you very much.
Time to pass on the microphone to
Nina, thank you. I wanted to ask you about something that you put in your application, in your essay. You said that you had helped host and mentor a group of 72 students from Asia for 1 month. And here people talk about Asian American, but obviously there are many differences amongst the Asian countries, conflicts oftentimes. And so I'm curious what it is that you felt you learned from that experience, having these people come here and then being responsible and helping to mentor them.
Being able to mentor these 72 students from such a diverse background was a really great opportunity. I really learned a lot from them about how even though people come from different cultures, from different countries, in the end we're all quite very similar. All of them had very exciting ideas and different ideas, but at the same time we were all young college students and we all had our own passions, and we were able to have fun together and learn a lot from each other. And for that, I was very grateful.
How does your Japanese heritage set you apart and yet add to the diversity of growing up in America?
Sorry, could you repeat me?
Absolutely. How does your Japanese heritage set you apart and yet add to the diversity of living and growing up in America?
I'm very grateful to live in America because it is so diverse, and I think growing up as a Japanese American, and especially as an individual that is of mixed background, I think it's provided me a better perspective on what it can be like to live with different influence and different cultural backgrounds, and it's really made me think about how important it is to be open-minded and to feel empathy towards others, no matter what background they are.
And that kind of touches on a question that I had, because I noticed in your application, you were born in Lima, Ohio. I'm from Ohio, actually, and I grew up about 45 minutes away from Lima. So I was like, Lima. Lima. They don't pronounce it Lima either, it's Lima. So you went from Lima, Ohio to Colorado. You studied in Japan at Doshisha, and then California. And we are in a world that is increasingly mobile, where people are coming from different backgrounds, moving to different places. And then you also get people who have mixed heritages, mixed cultures, and there's such a variety of local culture in the United States between Ohio and Colorado and California, and obviously Japan. So I'm wondering, in these moves that you've made to different places, how you approached it, kind of entering into a new environment, and what kinds of things you felt you learned from each move and each experience.
So I actually moved to Colorado when I was quite young, so I don't have too many memories of being involved in the Japanese American community in Ohio. But I think the biggest transition was when I moved from Colorado to the Bay Area. There's definitely a much greater range of diversity in the Bay Area and a much stronger presence of the Japanese American community. And for me, that was very exciting, and one of the big reasons that I wanted to come to California for university. And so my approach was really to seek out and find ways to get involved in the Japanese American community, as I felt I didn't have a strong presence or involvement in my younger years. Sorry, was there a second part to it?
Well, I think you touched on it, and I think, you know, Colorado, you said that there was a difference. Did you find a difficulty, and I'm just going to ask them to entertain this for just a second, did you find a difficulty as you were growing up in Colorado?
I didn't find it so much difficult as the Japanese influence was mainly within the household, through my mother and with interactions with my sister. But I definitely did not feel connected to a broader community, which I've been able to gain much more of a sense of here in California.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Life is filled with choices, including focusing on a career, family life, and service to the community. Which one is your priority and why?
Could you repeat the choices one more time, please?
Family, career, service to the community. Which is your priority?
My priority is my family. I think family life and family members are the foundation of who you are and your supporters in your life and how you pursue your career and how you get involved into the community. So I'd say family is definitely the one that I uphold to the highest degree.
And I just wanted to follow up. That actually segues into my question, which was, I was very struck by the comment that you had made in your essay about with the passing of your mother from cancer when you were 14, you felt the connection was severed. You mentioned that in your speech, but finding it again in playing the koto. And what I wanted to ask you is if you've had a favorite moment when you've been performing or playing that has been kind of, struck you close to your heart. And the second part of that is what you feel you've learned about Japan and about yourself in the process of playing this instrument that your mother played.
I will tell you about one specific moment where I performed in Roseburg, Oregon. It's this very small town, and it was in February of this year, I believe. And actually, we had an intermission session, and that was the moment where my teacher was actually busy. She had to answer some questions and sell some CDs, so I was just hanging around. And a bunch of the audience members came up and were so amazed with the instrument. They asked me multiple questions about the history. What is it made out of? What is the strings like? How do you play it? And luckily, I was in a speech class and we had an informative speech, so I had all the information that day. So luckily I knew the answers to most of their questions. So that was one of the most precious moments to me, was being able to answer and introduce this traditional, wonderful instrument to people. Regarding your second question, the koto has taught me a lot about Japan culture, I would say. It's quite interesting because I made a friend with an international student from Japan, and one time we were all spending time together and I decided to show them what I had and I played a little bit. And he said that was the first time he ever seen the koto. And I was like, you're from Japan, you should know, you should have seen the koto, you should have heard it. So I was just really surprised, and even the koto is so traditional that it's not prevalent in Japan's culture today. So that's something that really interested me about Japan culture.
Kelly, I know you're interested in pursuing a career in industrial engineering, but you know how technology has changed our lives. We always often talk about technology being disruptive. Well, you're part of a generation that has grown up with cell phones in your hands, smartphones in your hands. You've been able to text almost all your life. Yet some people say there are pitfalls and we've lost the ability to communicate person to person. What are the pitfalls of your generation growing up with mobile phones, cell phones, smartphones, and the ability to avoid the bell, to avoid communicating face to face?
say that this technology has really changed the way that we communicate. It's made things easier, but it's also made things harder. I think that although it's beneficial, we need to have that time to turn it off sometimes. Perhaps maybe an hour. An hour I know is asking for a lot, but maybe an hour turning off your cell phone and really reflecting upon your day, or talking to one of your family members. I like to have a role where we try to not use our phones during dinner, because that's an optimal time to really talk about what's going on in our lives and what's going on in our day. So I think really taking the moment to just turn it off, I think, is what our generation needs to make sure that face-to-face communication is preserved.
Thank you. I think there are some people in the back who are turning off their phones right now after you just said, I appreciate your talking. A big round of applause for them. They did a great job. And on the spot, so under the lights. Thank you so much.
Poise under fire. I thought we asked some pretty good questions. Yeah, and we got some very good answers.
We got some very interesting answers, and I hope it was something that was useful for the judges, because it can be very difficult to try and make a decision like this when you have so many people who have obviously put thought in. I think any one of them would be well qualified, pardon me, to represent the community,
Absolutely, so true. But we got to see sides of them that, different sides of how they handle these tough questions. But the 2015 Queen candidates would like to take this opportunity to thank their individual sponsors. So we'd like to do that right now.
Yes. And let's see, who are we starting with? Candidate Taylor Keiko Lehua Davis. She is sponsored by the Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco. Coming out here right now. We appreciate them and their longtime support. Represented by, tonight, Mr. Bruce Iwafuchi. Thank you so much.
Candidate Nina Marie Myers is sponsored by Takada Sake USA Incorporated, represented by Mr. Yoshihiro Naka.
Thank you for your support. We appreciate everything that you do. And just to know, they are being escorted out by previous members of the Cherry Blossom Court. It's wonderful to see them also participating in all of this. Next, we'd like to invite candidate Kelly Asako-san to come onto stage. She's sponsored by Benihana. Benihana, who is represented tonight by Mr. John Ward. Thank you very much for your support.
Guess that's what friends are supposed to do.
And candidate Kareem Brenda Worley is sponsored by the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, represented by Mr. Hitoshi Yamamoto.
Thank you so much for your support. We appreciate. And really, as Mr. Ben Nakajo mentioned, this would not be possible without these tremendous sponsors who basically come to the table every year and say, we want to support what this program means and what not just to the young women, but to the larger community as well.
They really recognize the importance of what this competition does in terms of building up confidence of these young ladies and giving them an opportunity to shine and to show a side of themselves outside in the community as opposed to in their school life or their family life. So it's really an opportunity to have a huge stage, and indeed, they're on a huge stage tonight.
And they're going to take a little bit of a break. We are going to be back here after about a 15-minute intermission. And we hope you've enjoyed the first part of the program, and there is some wonderful, wonderful things that are coming up in the second part. So we'll see you back here in about 15 minutes. Thank you.
See you soon.
KTVU Channel 2, Jana Katsuyama, and from ABC 7 News, David Louie. Thank you so much.
What have you been doing backstage?
We were taking pictures and talking with some of the former court members who, as we mentioned, so many of them come back and devote their time. It's all volunteer. It's a lot of hard work that goes into this program. So we were just talking with some of the past members and sort of reminiscing a little bit too.
Jenna, you're so serious. I was talking about what were we really doing backstage.
Oh, what were you doing?
No, you were doing it too.
Check out his Twitter feed, everyone.
86.7 David, we were tweeting pictures.
And you put me on there too, right? Okay. Well, we wanted to welcome you back for the second half of this Queen program. It's going to be a lot of fun, what we have coming up. And I know I saw some signs, and I know there are people here supporting everyone, but we also appreciate how much you're supporting each other, just as the young women who are up here on stage have really been supporting each other through that. And that's something that I've been very impressed with, not just with this court, but also with the others, that sometimes you hear about like really competitive kinds of programs. This one, it's very supportive.
You can see that they're all sisters. They're all so tight, and I think the experience has brought them together. And then they're going to be friends for life. I don't doubt that for 1 second.
Yeah, it's definitely wonderful to see that kind of interaction. So, we want to let you know that there is a room somewhere in this building. I don't know exactly where it is, but the auditors are tallying up final scores and. They're not going to tell us until we get that little envelope. So at this point, we wanted to take some time to acknowledge 5 very special women who have represented our community this year.
So let's have a big welcome for the 2014 Cherry Blossom Court.
Good evening. My name is Princess Alessandra Miyako Demeshki, and it has been an honor to be on the 2014 court this year. I'd first like to start off by thanking my sponsor, Benihana, for their continuous support throughout the years, along with my family for their unconditional love and encouragement. I remember this same time last year, the court and I were discussing what we were all excited for, and my answer was for tonight. And I can't believe it's finally here. It feels like it's gone by so quickly. To my 2014 court, this has been such an incredible, amazing journey, and you have each taught me something along the way. As Uncle Bobby would say, mahalo plenty for all of the amazing memories and laughs. And to the 2015 court, good luck. And welcome to the Sisterhood of the Traveling Kimonos.
Hello, my name is Princess Kristen Mariko Matsumoto, and I'd like to thank my sponsor, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, and my friends and family for all the support throughout the year. This year, we got to go on goodwill trips to Nisei Week in Los Angeles and the Cherry Blossom Festival in Hawaii. We got to enjoy the different festivals and get to know the hospitality committees, our sister courts, and their families. The people we have met have been more than generous to us. In Los Angeles, we got to learn about our Japanese American history in Little Tokyo, bond with our sister courts at Disneyland, and watch Nisei Week's coronation night. In Hawaii, we got to try local specialty foods, beat the undefeated parents at the Dole Plantation maze, and cheer on the contestants at the festival ball. After each Goodwill trip, it was sad to see the outgoing courts go, but we were happy to welcome the new courts into our family. We can't thank Nisei Week and Hawaii's Cherry Blossom Festival enough for their kindness and generosity.
Good evening. My name is Allison Kipola Nishiyama, and it has been an honor to serve as your 2014 Northern California Cherry Blossom First Princess. I would like to thank our sponsors, Takata Sake USA Incorporated, the Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco, Benihana, the Golden Gate Optimist Club of San Francisco, and the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California. We are truly blessed to have supporters dedicated to continuing the mission of the Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen program. We are so thankful that you have given us the opportunity to discover our heritage and to root ourselves within this community. We are truly, truly grateful that you have laid the foundation and are supporting us throughout this program. I'd also like to take this moment to thank my friends and family. No words can describe how much your love and guidance have meant to me. Thank you so much.
Good evening, my name is Saya Stephanie Sakurai, and I would like to thank my sponsor, the Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco. My experience as a 2014 Northern California Cherry Blossom Princess has been unimaginable. Together as a court, we have had the privilege of meeting the hardworking and dedicated members of our Japanese American community. We look forward to sharing the knowledge, but most importantly, the altruistic nature of your actions. Our community is the model of Ishokenme, relentless work. It never ceases to amaze us that every time we give 100%, we receive 150 in return. And we can enjoy the relaxing shade today because you all planted the tree a long time ago. And for this, we would like to say thank you. Thank you for being role models with whom we can identify, for protecting our roots, and for continuing to educate the newer generations. We are forever grateful to know that we have a new set of family and friends and a home here in San Francisco, Japantown. Lastly, thank you to my father, my brother, Gavin, for providing me all the assistance that allowed me to participate this past year. And special thanks to my mother, who worked so hard and put me through school and put up with everything that I have to ever say. Thank you so much, and thank you for recording this moment.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Kyle Sayaka Fujiki-Tana, and it has been an honor to have served as your 2014 Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen. I would like to thank and sincerely express my gratitude to my sponsor, the Golden Gate Optimist Club of San Francisco, as well as my family and friends for their unconditional love and support. This past year, we have experienced the profound spirit of giving and selflessness that resonates throughout the Northern California Japanese American community. We express our sincere gratitude to the broad range of community organizations and the many individuals who have taught us the true meaning of commitment and service. From Kimochi to the Nichibei Foundation, we thank you for being the cultural gatekeepers of our knowledge. We are incredibly humbled by the contributions of all those who have come before us and are honored to have had the opportunity to learn how to give back. We want to thank everybody who has made our experience so incredible. It is the rich history, experiences, and traditions that make us so proud to be standing before you this evening. We would now like to share
of our journey with you all as we showcase a brief film and slideshow of our year. So please enjoy.
Take it real cool, your heart, I wanna win. We got to break some people up beside her. The woman you're hotter than a fire. I'm burning with love and I'd love to love her. I said forever, I'd love to love her. She's a sunshine girl, lighting up my world. What she does to me.
That's right, if you don't want the music to stop, please send in your donation today. I want to thank all of our supporters out there that have already sent in their donations. I know who you guys are. But for the rest of you, now is the time to show your support of the only 24-hour K-pop TV station in the country. Kpop-TV is the only TV broadcaster that is exclusively K-pop. We bring you coverage of events like the K-pop World Competition and the KCON TV special. We also provide exclusive K-pop TV interviews and K-drama reviews. And don't forget the fun contests and promotions that you cannot find anywhere else. If you enjoy our programming, please help us pay for our operating costs by donating a few dollars. Simply go to our website and click the Keep the Music Playing link, and that's it. You can feel good that you are one of Kpop-TV's proud supporters. Remember what EXID says, and please don't stop the music. Please send in your donation today.
Last time, as Kiyomi and others bring out flowers for this incredible group of young women, it's hard to believe, standing here on the stage and remembering when they were going through all of this and looking at the pictures, just how much they've grown and how much they've touched so many people's lives in this past year. So thank you, ladies, for all of your generous service, the poise, the grace, the heart that you bring to this program. And best of luck to you as you take those bright smiles out and shine them and continue to share your spark with the rest of the community. Good luck to you all. Thank you. The 2014 Cherry Blossom Award.
We now invite the Cherry Blossom Festival co-chairs, Mr. Richard Hashimoto and Alan Okamoto, followed by the president of the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, Mr. Hitoshi Yamamoto.
Good evening, or maybe because of this leg, we should say aloha. Or aloha. Aloha. All right, Jana and David doing a great job tonight. Also, I'm so impressed with the 4 young ladies who are in the Queen program this evening. Aren't they wonderful? You know, the Cherry Blossom Queen program is the crown jewel of the entire Cherry Blossom Festival, ever since its beginning in 1968. And Jana mentioned in 1968, I volunteered for that very first festival. I must have done it when I was, what, 5 years old? But anyway, I just want to welcome and thank all of you for participating. Enjoy the rest of this program. I thank all the judges. I know that you have a really difficult job because these 4 ladies are absolutely wonderful. So thank you all.
That was 3 words, huh? Alan just told me backstage he was just going to say 3 words. Richard Hashimoto, one of the co-chairs of this year's Cherry Blossom Festival. Thank you very much all for coming. It was terrific today. I don't know if many of you got to experience it, but we had a record crowd today, which we, thanks to not only social media, but the weather, everything. And we had a new event today that Sakura 360, which was great, I thought, brought in a lot of young people, and that's what we need in our festival, bring in new ideas, new minds to the festival. I also want to thank Joanna and David, thank you. David, I haven't seen you so long, forgot, so good to see you, David. So thank you, enjoy the rest of the program. Judges, thank you very much. And the ladies 2014 and 2015 Queens. Thank you.
First of all, on behalf of the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, I would like to congratulate all of the 2015 candidates. The Queen program is one of the key events at the Cherry Blossom Festival. The Cherry Blossom Queen and her court represent our Japanese American community at many events, including our JCCNC golf tournament and New Year's Shinnenkai party. And we are all very thankful for the Cherry Blossom Court's contribution every year. It is an honor for us, JCCNC, to make continued donations each year. And on behalf of JCCNC, I would like to present this year's donation of $20,495 to the Cherry Blossom Festival. Right.
Mr. Hitoshi Yamamoto, thank you so much. The Japanese Chamber of Commerce is a continuous supporter of this Cherry Blossom Festival. That was tremendous, and we appreciate the ongoing support that you always have for this program. It's really such a wonderful joy, and we thank you so much, and all the members of the Chamber of Commerce.
For being such good role models for Asian Americans. Appreciate it. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all the you are doing.
You notice there are also the bows too, right?
Yes,
Like that goes across all different Asian cultures there.
You know, at this time, we'd like to take an opportunity to thank all of the supporters of the Queen program. First, to the candidate sponsors, Benihana, Nikkei Lions Club of San Francisco, the Japanese Chamber of Commerce of Northern California, of course, Takara Sake USA, and Golden Gate Optimist Club of San Francisco. Thank you also, a very special thank you to Consul General Watanabe and his lovely wife for being here this evening and supporting the future leaders of our community.
Yes, and there are so many, I mean, this is a good thing that there are so many sponsors. I'm going to have to look at this list because it's amazing how broad the support is too, not just deep, but also broad among so many people in the community. So we would also like to thank program sponsors and supporters, Arakawa Pottery, Benkyodo, Cherry Blossom Alumni, Fujiyasu Kimono Company, Images by Steven, Innovative Sound Designs, Robin Inaba and Cheryl Lay, Japanese Airlines, Japanese Tea Gardens, Jason No, Kayoko Designs, Miseki.
As well as Nikkei Weekly, Nakayoshi Young Professionals, North American Trading Company, Plaza Insurance, Mark Shiganaga, San Francisco Police Department, Shiseido, Union Bank, Vera Bradley, Waka Vintage Kimono Crafts, and Yamakami Company.
And thank you to the families and the friends of our 2014 court, who you just saw up here, and our soon-to-be 2015 court. Special thanks to the Davis family, the Myers family, the Sub family, and the Worley family. Additionally, to many volunteers who've given so much to make tonight possible. You've seen them around helping you to your seats. This is all volunteer, and we do appreciate all of your time and the love that you've given to this program. And I do mean love, because there's a lot of passion in this program that, you know, sometimes can be thankless when you're up at 2 in the morning trying to get all of this pulled together.
That's very true. And of course, we have this lovely venue this evening, and so we want to thank the staff of the Sundance Kabuki Cinemas and Nancy Griffler. Let's give a round of applause to all.
Several times this evening, one of the Queen program sponsors, that is the Fujiyasu Kimono Company of Tokyo, Japan, and its legacy of excellence. And it has been a long supporter of the Queen program. If you've been here during past programs, you've heard this story about this very special connection. I never get tired of hearing about it because it is a beautiful story. And to share some insight into that special bond is the 2014 First Princess, Allison Nishiyama.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Allison Kiapola Nishiyama, and I would like to thank you for joining us for the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival and Queen program. It has been a pleasure to listen to these women share their thoughts and stories. I'm so proud of their hard work and dedication that they've put into tonight's program, and I'm excited to see them use that same passion as they delve into their work as part of the community. This past year has played host to a myriad of new experiences, friendships, and stories. There is one story in particular that has shaped my year and encompasses the spirit of the Japanese people and the kindness, selflessness, and camaraderie that I felt during my time working within the community. At the end of World War II, most cities of Japan had been reduced to heaps of rubble and twisted metal. Shops and factories were gutted, but worst of all, it had devastated the heart of Japan, its people. History books focus on the aid and the guidance that the United States government and the occupation forces provided. However, they fail to mention the assistance provided by the Japanese American community. As 30% of the population remained homeless and food supplies dwindled, packages containing food, clothing, and hope suddenly began to arrive. The people of Japan initially believed this to be the work of the US government, but they soon learned that these gifts were from Japanese Americans who were also facing their own hardships. The Issei and Nisei were returning from being unjustly imprisoned in internment camps. They had been robbed of their businesses, possessions, and rights, and were beginning their own road to recovery. However, they sacrificed what they could to provide assistance to those in Japan. Mr. Seisuke Ato, the fourth president of the Fujiyasu Kimono Company, and his family were among the fortunate to receive these precious gifts. He never forgot these acts of kindness. Years later, to thank the Japanese American community for their generosity, Mr. Ato and the Fujiyasu Kimono Company sent a kimono to the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival. Since 1973, the Fujiyasu Kimono Company has graciously bestowed a traditional Furusode kimono every year to the newly crowned Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen. Mr. Ato passed this February at the age of 92, but his legacy that ties our communities together lives on. My cherry blossom sister, Saya Sakurai, stood on this very stage last year and spoke these words that have resonated with me through my entire year in the Cherry Blossom program. One kind act begets another. Compassion is contagious and helps others through their obstacles. There is no excuse better for the heart than reaching down and lifting people up. The Japanese American community showed great compassion, and in turn, Mr. Ato, as well as his successor, Mr. Mochizuki, have found a way to repay the kindness and to build goodwill between the United States and Japan. My efforts this year, as well as my continued work, is inspired by the omoiyori, or the altruistic sensitivity, shown by the Japanese American community and the Fujiyasu Kimono Company. I ask you to take a moment, maybe later tonight or next week Sunday, as you watch the lovely ladies in their kimono on the float. But take a moment to remember Mr. Ato and the Japanese Americans who gave selflessly. And if it moves you, tell their story. It is through sharing that we keep his spirit of community, selflessness, and kindness alive.
Thank you so much, Allison. That was a very moving tribute, and one that I think captured what a lot of people, I think, in this program feel about the very special relationship that was started so many years ago, and which continues with tonight as part of that long legacy and tradition.
Truly special. Well, we now turn to our next portion of our program, which we used to call the creative expression portion of the program. But our four candidates obviously have very diverse and very amazing and diverse talents. And over the years, we've had dancing, singing, koto, and even sketching live on stage. However, we've come to find that the range of expression cannot be confined to a single stage.
Yes, but we are capturing it with technology. So here, on the next segment, we are going to be showing you, this is not judged, by the way, but it is something which helps to give you a sense of how well-rounded a lot of these young women are. So there are cameras that have captured some highlights of their passions, their interests, these future representatives of the Japanese American community. So ladies and gentlemen, please turn your attention to the big screen so you can get a little glimpse into the lives of some of these young women in the 2015 court.
I got started with softball because my family has been athletes, and my grandpa actually was my first coach. I started playing at the age of 6, so I've been playing for around 17 years. It almost seemed like every week there was something going on. Somebody was playing, or we were at softball games, or somebody had practice. I love the fact that I've made friends that have actually become like lifelong best friends. I remember the after games. Everybody's talking about what went wrong during the games, and then everybody starts laughing at like something that might have been funny during the game. I feel that softball influenced me because I was able to I was strong. It made me stronger physically able to use that as a tool to confront others who think little of me.
I actually first heard about Dragon Boat because every year in Denver there's a Dragon Boat festival, and I used to go as a child. But when I learned as a freshman that Stanford had their own Dragon Boat team, I signed myself up. And after joining the team, I fell in love with the sport and with the team, and I've been with it ever since. I think what I love the most about Dragon Boat is being part of a team. It's really fun to work with a team towards a certain goal. You have fun together, you work hard together, you also suffer together, but you also grow together. I think I'm very proud of how far I've developed with Dragon Boat. I remember the very first practice. It was hard to just keep up paddling. It was a lot of work, but now I feel like I've been able to make my form a lot sharper, become much stronger.
I got started with Koto because I wanted to get in touch with my culture, and as well as start and play an instrument. My mother played Koto when she was young, and so I had all the materials to play the Koto, so I decided to choose that. I love the variety of sounds you can make on the Koto. You can adjust the bridges to make different notes, and you can push one side of the bridge to make a different note. It's got a wonderful sound. My Koto teacher is definitely one of my role models. She's somebody that I can look up to. She's definitely a woman figure in my life that I can come to if I have a problem, or I feel very comfortable with her. I'm really proud of performing places because the audience has a chance to listen to a rare instrument, and being able to showcase Japan's traditional instrument. People are so curious, and their eyes just light up with wonder whenever they see this instrument and hear this instrument. And I really enjoy answering questions and giving them that opportunity.
Ever since my mother, she's been working as a single mom, and she works very many hours, and I thought I might as well help her out in the kitchen sometime. So ever since I was about 50 years old, I've been cooking with her and helping her out. What I love the most is how I can express myself through art. Ever since I was young, I was really into arts and crafts, which my mother taught me, and so I really like food design, creating animal shapes, all sorts of nature shapes with food. Cooking with my mom is just me spending time with her. Really, she makes me who I am, so whenever I get to be with her, it's just really special. My favorite recipe currently is Japanese soba noodles. It's very quick, very easy. It takes maybe less than 30 seconds to make. I'm really proud of myself when I make something, and my mom, she goes back home, and then she sees it, that I made it for her, and then she gets really happy, and she just lights up.
ladies, thank you so much. A big round of applause. That was really fascinating, seeing some of your talents, the many different insights into your sense of humor too. And we're so very glad to have you be part of this. This is a wonderful opportunity to get to see some things. I don't know, it would have been nice to have a baking segment on this. That might have been an interesting change.
Have you noticed how the camera always catches things you don't think it's going to catch? That's a lot of fun. It's part of life, right?
It is.
All right.
And thank you so much. You've obviously come so far in this process and this journey, and we wish all of you luck tonight as we proceed into the evening.
All right, now this is the time we'd like to acknowledge the auditors who have been working so diligently behind the scenes, trying to tally up all these final scores for our distinguished panel of judges. So if we might invite the auditors, please, to come up with the envelopes, we'd appreciate it.
Yes, a big round of applause to them. They are also volunteering their time. Thanks to Vice President Union Davis, Certified Public Accountant Mr. Lowell Kimura, and Assistant Vice President of Dayton West, Mr. Douglas Nakamani. Thank you all so much. A round of applause. They've been working very hard, and this is the result of all of their efforts, as well as the wonderful panel of the 7 judges who are here.
Do you feel that power in your hands right now, these envelopes?
There's that anticipation, but also that sense of, after seeing that video, really, ladies, all of you are so deserving in the work that you've done and the insight that you've brought into this whole program in terms of your own personal journeys. We appreciate that. All right. Well, here we go. We do want to mention one thing. In the past, at this point in the program, we had done a Tomodachi announcement, but this year there's going to be a little bit of a change.
Yes, instead of the ballots being cast by the candidates on program night, the award will be conferred at the end of the court year to allow the members to get to know each other while working to serve the community during their court year.
And those ballots will be cast by the court during the coronation that evening. As one of these fine women will receive the Tomodachi Award as a symbol of their congeniality, sincerity, and friendship. So we hope that you will join us again next year to find out which of these young women wins that very prestigious and wonderful peer award.
Indeed. Now, in the event that the Queen is unable to fulfill her duties, the first princess will assume the responsibilities as the representative. And now,
okay, here we go.
The title of the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom First Princess goes to...
And actually, while I'm opening it, can you just give all of them a big round of applause? They are all so deserving. The 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom First Princess is...
Nina Myers. Generously donated by the 1999 First Princess, Amy Sujishi, and Mr. Kerry Honda. And the sash for the First Princess was donated by 2014 First Princess, Allison Nibola Nishiyama.
There is also a First Princess Award that is going to be presented right now by the 48th Annual Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival General Co-Chair, Mr. Alan Okamoto.
The 2015 First Princess is now receiving the Atayas Pearl with Swarovski Crystal Amethyst Stones, Golden Rutile Stones, and White Clear Floret Ore Stones, designed by Ms. Asuka Saito. This beautiful piece of verbal art is presenting this beautiful piece of artwork.
And congratulations. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom First Princess
Before we announce the title holder of the 2015 2015 Queen, we'd like to remind everyone that the official photo shoot will take place directly after she's named. So please allow the Queen Committee to call the photo shoot with the official photographer, after which all the rest of you will have the opportunity to take photos from the audience.
And post them on social media or
Yes.
tweet or whatever it is that you might do. This is going to be the 2015 Cherry Blossom Queen, the young woman who the judges felt best exemplified the qualities necessary to be the representative of our festival and our community over the year. Before we present this award, I would like to have you give another round of applause to our 7 hardworking judges who did so much tonight to
Well, I see you have the envelope in your hand.
Yes,
Open
I
it
do.
up and pull out the judges' decisions.
Shall we read it together?
We should.
The 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom Queen is Kelly Starr. And the Queen's title sash has been donated by the 2013 Queen, Ms. Kelly Yuka Walton. We'd also like to call in Mr. Ben Nakajo. Her is a beautiful Fujiyasu Furisode kimono that, as you heard tonight, was donated by the late Mr. Sei Shichi Ato and Mr. Kazunari Mochizuki of the Fujiyasu Kimono Company. This donation of the Furisode kimono also includes an obi, the sash, zori, and all of the other essential accessories that are needed to wear this beautiful kimono.
Festival General Co-Chair Richard Hashimoto.
Congratulations. And we'd like to call in Mr. Yamamuro because Kelly, as Cherry Blossom Queen, you will be going on a goodwill tour to Japan. On Japan Airlines, presented by Vice President and Regional Manager, Northwestern Region USA, Mr. Hitoshi Yamamuro. And there's no doubt that you will be a wonderful representative for us.
You're going to be a fine representative. Congratulations. Now, of course, the princesses of the 2015 Cherry Blossom Court will also receive some special awards. For Maureen Worley and for Taylor Davis, tea sets, which are graciously donated by the North American Trading Company. A Coach purse donated by Ben Kyogo. An original handmade pottery piece from Arakawa Pottery. One-of-a-kind fabric purse from Waka Vintage Kimono and Crafts. And a Festival Princess Award from the Northern California Cherry Blossom Festival.
And following this, as you go through your year, you will also be receiving matching happy coats donated by the Queen Program Committee for the many moments that you're going to be out in the public sharing all of this. A tote bag from Vera Bradley and beautiful handmade kanzashi by Ms. Hiroko Sato. There will also be a court gift from Ms. Sarah Fidai and Mr. Diego Garcia, a cherry blossom pendant handmade by Kayoko Designs, and finally a second handmade kanzashi by Ms. Naomi Wan. A big round of applause. Ladies, you are tremendous. Thank you for all of your wonderful insight and experience. A big round of applause. Ladies and gentlemen, the 2015 Northern California Cherry Blossom Court.
There is your photo opportunity.
We'd also like to thank the generous sponsors for supporting and congratulate the court and their families and friends. All of you came out. We could hear you from up here with your applause and that support. So thank you all for coming here. The Queen Committee too, which David and I have been talking about all night, has been really tremendous. Thank you so much.
Everything has been so flawless. A beautiful program, so artfully and carefully crafted. Congratulations to everyone for just doing a splendid job.
And join us next weekend for the big parade. Thank you all. Good night. And ladies, stay here. As we mentioned, there are going to be the official photo opportunities. So the photographers, if you want to go ahead and come up to the front stage, and I think Sarah and some of the other previous court members will be helping to direct that.
That's right. If you don't want the music to stop, please send in your donation today. I want to thank all of our supporters out there that have already sent in their donations. I know who you guys are. But for the rest of you, now is the time to show your support of the only 24-hour K-pop TV station in the country. Kpop-TV is the only TV broadcaster that is exclusively K-pop. We bring you coverage of events like the K-pop World Competition and the KCON TV special. We also provide exclusive K-pop TV interviews and K-drama reviews. And don't forget the fun contests and promotions that you cannot find anywhere else. If you enjoy our programming, please help us pay for our operating costs by donating a few dollars. Simply go to our website and click the Keep the Music Playing link, and that's it. You can feel good that you are one of Kpop-TV's proud supporters. Remember what EXID says, and please don't stop the music. Please send in your donation today.